What is going on, YouTube? PPS here. YouTube play of the day time is not here. It's past the prop. Let's get this money. We got a multi-sport show today. MLB for your boy. We got NBA from Stu. Games left in NBA. It's gotta be what? A couple games left? 2, 3?
Yeah, let's see, April. Yeah, I think it's one more slate, right? I mean, Sunday is I think we're pretty much at the finish line right now. It's all about seeding and development, right? So it definitely makes for some tricky slates, a lot of, I guess, confusing games, a lot of unknowns, but obviously when there's unknowns, the sports books don't know as well, right? So that's where we can punish them a little bit and hopefully make a little bit of money. But yeah, huge slate, 15 games today. We got everybody playing. Definitely excited to hopefully keep that momentum going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got you're on a mini heater here on MLB right now, man, with these long shots. So we'll get through that. I'll start out with mine. My L here was Zach Littell, dude. 3 walks in his first 4 batters, and then didn't walk another guy the whole rest of the game through 5 2/3 innings. It was probably the fastest bet I've ever lost. But then I just watched and I'm like, dude, right after that, dude just locked in and was fine. And I'm like, dude, this is so annoying because it was definitely, I felt good about it, especially with the numbers going the way they were. But then he walked Mickey Moniak. But I was on a 12 pitch at bat. Those ones happen. Trout, I obviously expected him to walk him maybe, but not the greatest look there. Luckily for us, we got the plus money spot. It ended up cashing 3.4 units or whatever it is, with Jordan Hicks getting the win. Again, a weird gift line, and Corbin gave up what Corbin gives up, and Jordan Hicks decided to still be good. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I think in all that game, I think Patrick Corbin had 3 swings and misses in what, however many, almost 100 pitches. So obviously this was an amazing call. 150 was crazy. Like I said on the show, I thought this would be 120. I don't know if they just thought Corbin would be better after a new season. Or I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there, but love this spot right here. Definitely, yeah, hopefully we can keep fading Corbin on the show in the future as well.
Yes, sir. And now we go over to yours, I believe. Gomber ended up hitting in the first or second inning. Early winner there. And then I believe you said Lee did not play, right?
Yeah, correct. Lee was scratched, unfortunately. He was not part of that clobbering of Patrick Corbin. But hey, 1-0 on that, and obviously the long shot cashes for us over here as well. Oh my God, Josh Naylor homer. I had no clue it was National Siblings Day. I could have parlayed them. Nobody told me. This was a pure this is a stats bet, not a stupid narrative bet. And then everyone on Twitter is posting I don't know. That was pretty hilarious to find out that both of them ended up going wrong. Because that's the thing, you don't want to click on the wrong name. You never it's so easy to do. Both of them went yard. Obviously, got the job done. Ooh, long shots have been fun. 3 of our last 4 long shots, guys, on the show. That is so hard. I mean, that is so fucking hard. So hopefully we can keep it going right here. And I've been going back and forth, right? MLB to NBA, all that stuff. So it's been fun so far. 9.1 units into MLB so far, baby. We're just starting. We got all season long to add on to that.
Yeah, and obviously this is a big help with the long shots, helping us out for I think about 4.5 of that. So, or maybe more actually after I think about it. But awesome start. It's a good start here. Again, we're split up today. We got Stu on NBA. We got me on MLB. Stu, I'll kick it to you here. What's the game sticking out to you? Is there any narratives you're looking at? Any races you're looking at? Any teams that are shit and you want to see their shit guys? What do you want to say?
Yeah, I think today's rough, because it's going to be hard to keep up with everything. For me, I mean, Cleveland and the Pacers has a lot of meaning, right, for significance. I'm just probably going to try to watch the teams that actually care. I've watched enough of these terrible games, where nobody's kind of fighting for anything at this point. I think the Lakers and Grizzlies game will be kind of ass, but that is my one exception to that rule, I guess, where I do really like some Grizzlies young players over there. But in general, I would say let's keep it to the teams that are trying as much as possible. And if you're not betting on teams that are trying, you should probably be either betting unders on starters or overs on like role players, because like the Bulls, I think, are the perfect example, right? They have nothing to play for today. They just played their starters 40 minutes last game. Like, we literally have no clue who's even going to play for the Bulls today. So just be super careful with stuff like that. And then obviously I think the final one I mentioned is Magic 76ers, just since there's so many. Embiid is back. Both of these two teams are fighting for seeding. And I want to see what like Isaacs and these guys can do against Embiid in the paint, right? Because I mean, Isaacs is like one of the best defenders in the NBA. And like, he plays like 18 minutes a game. So it's a little bit harder for people to realize that. But that physicality they have across the board on the Magic is going to be fun. I'm curious how they can handle Embiid when both teams are going to be trying very hard in that one. So that probably will turn out to be the one I watch the most of in this hectic 15-gamer tonight.
Yeah, full game, right? I think everybody is in action today, right? I believe every game, every team. So that'll be a fun one there. Obviously to watch. I again won't be watching any of these games, unfortunately. But hopefully Giannis feels better, and we'll start tuning in during the playoffs. Just don't put Doc Rivers on the TV. I already don't want to watch their games. So like, you're now making me not want to watch them even more. So I said to you right away when it happened, I'm like, I'm done watching the games for the year, and I haven't watched since. I haven't watched any Doc Rivers coached games. And it's gonna stay that way, I think. So
it's a great choice too. They've sucked. Like they beat good teams every once in a while, but they lose to so many bad teams that
garbage teams, bro. And then they beat the Magic with no Giannis. It's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
But whatever. For me, going over to MLB, by far the game I want to watch the most is the two young guys, Reed Detmers, Tanner Houck. I want to watch that Red Sox game. I believe the wind is blowing out in Boston. You got two guys who have tons of swing and miss in their game, but both have had power issues in the past. So I think that's going to be one that I want to watch because, dude, the games for me that I'm most interested in are the ones that have the biggest range of outcomes. Like, this game could be a 10-9 game. It really could. This game could also be a 2-0 game in 10 Ks on each side, right? So those are the games that I want to watch. And minus 110 on both sides, I think, is warranted. And yeah, I think that's definitely the game. And I guess if you wanted to, you could talk about the Nationals, Oakland. I mean, they're dogs to Oakland, and I'll see them tonight, which is just, again, in its own right, just crazy.
I bet them last night. I bet the Nationals and I bet the Royals, both as underdogs. I felt like one of them is going to win, so I'll at least get something back. Hopefully both of them win. But, like, I don't know. Like, for me, I don't understand. I think Irvin's underrated on that staff. Like, when you look at it, I don't think Irvin's a great pitcher, but he's definitely better than, like, Corbin. I would say he's borderline better than how Josiah Gray has been in recent memory. I think the only guy really better on that staff is Mackenzie Gore, right? So for me, Irvin's not, like, amazing or anything like that, but I was pretty shocked to see them not even just, like, plus 100 underdogs. He was, like, plus 120. You know, it was, like, there was some juice there as well. So I don't know. I know Blackburn, he gets a lot of ground balls. You know, he's a good pitcher. But I don't know, man. I don't want to take the Oakland A's as favorites ever. They're not trying to actively win. The Nationals are at least trying a little bit. So give me that plus money.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was in your rotation. I thought he was still coming out of the pen like he was last year. So I have no idea if he's even stretched out or if he's just going to be an opener. You know, I don't see him as a starter because I haven't yet. So I guess we'll see as it goes on here. But maybe we see a bullpen game, which again is not in favor of the Nationals there to try a bullpen game. So all right, I guess we got 15 of you guys in here in the first couple minutes. Hit that like button, guys. I know Stu's got a hard out today, so make sure if you're asking questions, you're doing it right away so we can get it going here. I will kick it to you, Stu, to start us off. I believe both of these are full unit spots, so I'll kick it over to you in one of those shit games.
Sounds good. Yeah, I had to correct it earlier when I realized I was like, well, I actually do like this Grizzlies-Lakers game. Okay, this is the exception. The Grizzlies, I mean, they've been playing their G League squad for. It looks like they're only have like 8 guys available tonight. And when you look at it even closer, of those 8 guys, most of them are guards, right? Laravia, Goodwin, these more little guys, you know, and some medium-sized forwards, Scott, you know, some of those guys as well. Timmy Scott, who I believe they said they never heard of before, and they put the little question mark graphic, which I thought was a little bit rude. I don't think you got to do all that. But the point is, there's nobody. This is a barren roster right now. And I like Gigi Jackson to have a good game. But when you look at the full game numbers, it's at 19.5. Like, I think it's very fair. You know what I mean? I think it's where it should be. I still think the first quarter numbers are wrong. And there's been a very clear shift that Gigi is now playing like 11 minutes a game in the first quarter, which is awesome. Like, it's an awesome workload. And it's really because they don't have much of a choice. He's one of the only multi-level scorers. He's young and he's raw, so he's not going to be efficient, but he can score on multiple levels. That was the appeal of drafting him out of college so young right here. And he's obviously proven himself. Additionally, if you want to look in the narrative, he has talked a lot about his love for the Lakers as well, stuff like that, getting to play them. Is always a nice little motivation factor, especially for the rookies when they're playing for nothing. But I really like the minutes in this one. 11 minutes, 7 is the only down game he had against the Spurs, where he scored 0 points. But I have a feeling he only played 7 minutes because he went 0 for 5 from the field and 0 for 3, right? Like, he was chucking up shots and they just weren't going in. And every other game, right, without Jaren Jackson, it's been 12, 12, 11, 11 right here. Last game, 2 for 7 from the field, still went over this number. He's going to take 2 threes and at least 5 field goals. That's a guarantee, right? That his base is 5 field goal attempts, and 2 of those are likely going to be threes, probably more. Most of these games, he's taken at least 3 threes in the first quarter. Anytime I can get a guy with the same number as the same field goal attempts, I want to do that. That's just point blank. That's the rule. And that's something that's very hard to attain in regular props, unless you got a guy, in the 13, 14, 15 range or something like that, that's adjusting to a new rule. But you actually can get that a lot in the first quarter. And I think that's why it's one of the most valuable markets. So there's just no scoring on this team. They're really going to need Gigi to do something. The volume is going to be good. The minutes are going to be good. And guess what? The Lakers are probably just going to coast through this game. I don't think they got to win, obviously. But I don't think it's going to be the best game in the world. So definitely like Gigi right here. Just keep it in the first quarter. I don't want to mess around with the full game. I get the volume's good. I definitely think he should go over 20 points right here. It just feels more fair, while I see more value in the 5.5 first quarter points.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, I mean, you could see maybe AD only play like 28 minutes because they're up by 20 already, So I definitely want to play in that first quarter if you're doing it. So this is obviously a good spot to look in a game that could definitely get out of hand for sure. Let's go to mine. I'm going to go to an early game, and I'm going to be going to Toronto Blue Jays Rockies first 5 under 4.5. I don't know if you know this, but Toronto kind of sucks, bro. This offense is atrocious. There is nothing that I want to back in Toronto games, right? I just bet on Yusei Kikuchi. Has a game of his life. Still can't get a win at all because they're just hitting one solo homer a game. They obviously lost in extra innings in that last game against, I believe it was Seattle, in the game that I bet you say in that one. 1 run scored there. They scored 5 in the night before. But a lot of that was off the bullpen, right? A lot of it's off of, they got to Kirby early, but Kirby hasn't been himself early in the season. Gave up obviously pretty big numbers in 2 games, but I don't trust these guys at all. And the reason why I don't trust them even more tonight is because we know they are a right-handed dominant team, right? They're a right-hand dominant team. Bichette, Vladdy, all the guys you're worried about. George Springer, who, I don't even know if I'm worried about him anymore, but a lot of righties, right? Alejandro Kirk, right? A lot of these guys. Ryan Feltner, pretty damn good against righties. And we look at these numbers so far this year. Extremely unlucky against righties so far this year. He has a 22% left on base percentage against righties. That is so unsustainable. I can't even tell you, right? That is like having a BABIP of 1,000 pretty much. It's just not going to happen. It's not sustainable. He's got a 3.78 FIP, but a 2.4 xFIP in this small amount of starts. That's incredible to have a number move that much. He's got fantastic swing and miss, 35% K rate to righty so far this year with only a 4% walk. I would be more worried if we had a lot of lefties here, but Varsho has started off terrible. I'm not worried about 72-year-old Kevin Kiermaier. I'm not worried about that, right? I'm worried about Vladdy. I'm worried about Bichette. I'm worried about these big power guys in the middle of this lineup. And when you have a guy like Feltner who can limit power and limit contact to righties, I think that's a spot you want to go to right away. Like I said, I'm going to trust Kevin Gausman. His velo always starts down to start the year. It's not like this is a one-time thing. And I'll take Colorado fade time outside of Coors anytime I can get it. So obviously the books are still giving him a 7.5 strikeout prop. They expect him to go out there and shove as well. I do too. My biggest concern is obviously the Fulmer side. I just gave you the numbers there. He's fantastic against righties. And unless Vladdy can switch to the left side and hit, I'm not really too worried about this Toronto Blue Jays lineup. So sign me up for this under. I think it's very fair, and happy to be getting that hook at the 4.5.
Yeah, when I first looked at this game, this was honestly just like a skip, for me. I was like, kind of both sides kind of ugly, but obviously everything you're laying out, it really does sound like the perfect spot for an under. What do we like to do more, obviously, than fade the Rockies outside of Coors? And then obviously, like you mentioned, the Blue Jays. I mean, they don't have their mojo at all, right? This has been a maybe a worst case scenario start to the season, especially on offense out here. And even like you said, guys like Kikuchi are balling out, and you can't even get your guys wins like that. So I agree. I like this under a lot, especially like you said, 4.5 is a big deal. Stuff like that going from 4 to 3.5, that matters so much. So to get that at a reasonable price right here, I'm definitely liking this look. Definitely tailing.
Yeah, good price. Fade in Colorado outside of Coors. Pretty much everything kind of lining up for that one for me on there. 16 of you guys still in here live with us. I know we moved up the show a little early. Hit that like button if you could. And we'll get to Stu's second play here.
Oh, yeah. We're going Nicholas Claxton under 23.5 PRA. For me, this is one of my favorite spots, and it'll correlate with another play that'll be out later on Clowney whenever they put his lines up as well, the rookie that they drafted that's been getting more minutes. For me, when we talk about unders, you want to have as many outs as possible, right? And what I mean by that is you want to have as many different ways for this to lose. And for me, I feel like there's just so many, because on the surface level, this is a brutal matchup, right? The Knicks are allowing the second fewest PRA to opposing centers. They're very good in the paint. They keep you away from those zones. They're slow. Everything that Claxton's good at, the offensive rebounding, the putbacks, they're one of the best teams at limiting offensive rebounds, right? This is one of those spots where this is a brutal matchup for Claxton. He stayed under in 2 or 3 games so far this season. So just that on his surface makes this an attractive bet. But now you look at the spread, right? You look at the time of year, you look at the coaches' quotes and what they're emphasizing on this team. And that's moving forward for next year, right? And I saw an Instagram post from a Nets coverage thing that was talking about it maybe being Claxton's last game with the Nets. Or at least last home game, with the Nets right here. And that could definitely be a possibility. We're seeing Clowney play a lot of minutes recently. Sharp is now back as well and healthy. They have plenty of depth. Jalen Wilson, another big forward. They play so much small ball on this team that they're legit 3 young guys that I just named to you that they just spent top draft picks on over these last 2 years that could actually play real minutes in a game that doesn't matter. Because when you're a coach and you're coaching a young team, the idea when you're completely out of it is, let's see what we got here, right? What can these guys give to us in the future? And we know what Claxton can give to you, right? And this is a brutal matchup, and I think we're going to emphasize the young guys. So for me, I really see so many different ways, whether it's the rough matchup, whether it's just a blowout, right? Whether it's a low-scoring game, because he struggles against these teams that limit putbacks and limit offensive rebounds, or whether it's just time for him to play, 15 minutes a game and let the young guys step up. I think there's so many different ways that we can win this bet. So definitely loving Claxton. I try to stay away from the unmotivated teams, like I said earlier, unless there's, some clear things we could take advantage of. And the Knicks are highly motivated. They're playing for seeding. They're not taking this game off. It's not like Claxton's having easy buckets down there. They're playing for real. So I definitely like the spot. I think Claxton has a rough game here.
Yeah, no, they're fighting. I think they're a game behind the Bucks, right? I thought I saw them like a game and a half behind the Bucks. So obviously important spots, especially with Giannis out, knowing you have a chance to get these spots late in the season. So good looks there. Talk about a motivated team. I'm going to the Braves. I'm going to their first 7 this time. I'm going to first 7, not a first 5, first 7. It's going to be under innings on DraftKings here. First 7 team total over 3.5 at -120. So let's kind of talk about it. They just got absolutely whopped yesterday, bro. They got smoked by a division rival in the Mets. The Mets beat them down. They were throwing Luis Guillorme in the 8th inning, bro. That's how bad they were beating that ass. So I think the Braves are coming out today and just trying to absolutely lay the hammer today. Braves are going to be at Miami today against Trevor Rogers. I always switch up Trevor and Tyler Rogers. Trevor Rogers, lefty here. I know it's a bad park. I'm not worried about that when you have dudes like Acuna, Ozuna. You got big gap potential in there for extra base hits. I also really want to kind of fade Trevor Rogers in this spot as well. This dude has always had walk issues. We've seen that in the past. So far this year, already has 6 walks in only 17 innings. The walk rate against righties is at 8%. I believe that was last year at 8%. And if you want to go to this year, it's still up there. It's actually higher now. It's at 18% through 2 starts. So obviously we talk about the right-handed power in this Braves lineup, and especially if they get up in this game. We could be seeing some really bad guys in here, like really bad bullpen guys. And that's the reason I went first 7 versus first 5, because I expect Rogers to be going 5 innings at the absolute max. I do not expect him to be going that third time through the order, because, I mean, if you're a smart coach, you see this guy has a 4.1 ERA in the first time through the order, second time through the order, a 5.4 and a 3.33 batting average. And then you go third time through the order, a 7.70 or 7.71 7.71 ERA and a 360 batting average against third time through the order. So I don't expect him going third time through. I don't want him facing Acuna for a third time. Yeah. Also, the reason why I like that even better, why we're going for 7, Miami so far this year is the 5th worst bullpen in the MLB with a 5.43 earned run average. They're the 3rd worst in terms of batting average at 275. And they're bottom 3 in whip with a 1.62 whip as a bullpen as a whole. So after Rogers, I don't think it gets much better. You also have Fried on the other side. Miami's one of the worst hitting teams against lefties. Even though they do have Jake Berger, who is just a monster now, I guess. I don't know where that came from, but they do struggle against lefties. They were the worst team last year. I don't expect the sample size to get much better this year, because I know it's been pretty good so far to start the season, but I expect it to go down considerably. And Trevor Rogers versus righties, I'm not the slugging percentage has always been up there. Even though he is at home and he gets a little bit of an upgrade there. Ozuna, we talk about LBs all the time versus left-handed pitching. He's an absolute monster. And then obviously having Arcia, who's I think number 1 in batting average, batting in your 7-hole, right? Michael Harris is doing much better this year against lefties so far in this sample size. So too much power. I'm worried about Trevor Rogers not going deep in this game, and I just talked about how crappy that bullpen has been to start this season, and this is not a team I want to try and get right against, and especially an angry one who just got smoked by the Mets. So sign me up for some Braves. I'm not even going to mess around at the end of the game. Really, really like this spot for the Braves to come through.
I completely agree. I like, especially a division opponent. You always want to bet the team, not every team. You want to bet the good team when they just got stomped out by the bad team, right? Because that rightfully so pisses them off. They're humans at the end of the day, right? And it's, I don't want to say embarrassing, but I would say that's probably fairly close of you're expected to take care of business. So once you hop out and you get another matchup that, like you said, the Braves can clearly take advantage of. I like going the first 7 as well to include more of that bullpen, because as we know, you're not even getting the top end guys, right? That's like the back end, the 6th inning, the 7th inning guys of Miami. I'm not sure what that bullpen is looking like right now, but I'm sure it's not great at all. So definitely like this spot. Definitely love back in the Braves offense and a nice little bounce back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go through a quick recap, Stu. I know we gotta get you rolling here, and we'll go to our long shot. Do you have a long shot? You don't have to say it now, but do you have? Okay, you got one. All right, let's recap it, then we'll get to some long shots here.
Sounds good. We got Nick Claxton under 23.5 points, rebounds, assist, minus 115. And then we got G.G. Jackson over 5.5 first quarter points, minus 125.
Awesome. I'm going to be fading the Blue Jays offense here. Blue Jays, Rockies, first 5 under 4.5 at minus 125. I also have the Braves first 7 on DraftKings team total over 3.5 at minus 120. All right, Stu. You've been on a little heater here. Obviously, we're switching it back over to NBA. What do you got for us for a long shot today?
Yeah, we're going to go somewhere I didn't expect to go. We're going Jordan Poole to record a double-double at plus 470 right here. I actually like his regular assist at 6.5 as well. I think the points are a given. He's at 22 right now. They don't have a point guard on this team anymore. And I'm thinking, okay, we signed Jared Butler to a 3-year deal. He's going to play a lot more minutes. No, that has not been the case so far. From everything I've seen, from everything I've read, I think it's quite clear that Jordan Poole is clearly auditioning for the starting role of point guard next year, right? He came in the season as a shooting guard, essentially. And they said, well, this isn't working. You can go to the bench now. He got to have the ball in his hands more. And the focus has been playmaking. We all know Jordan Poole can score, right? But at the end of the day, how can you set up for others? And this Washington team, doesn't have great scoring around you, but you still have Kispert there, who he has really good chemistry with. You got Vukcevic now, the new guy, Tristan, who's the rookie. They have very good chemistry and have been operating the pick and roll. And to be honest, that's actually why I bet this new addition center has really brought back the pick and pop, the pick and roll. He can shoot threes. He can roll to the basket. That hasn't been an element they've had all year long. So for me, I think that really elevates it. He has the upside. Washington's clearly playing their best basketball of the year right now. They've played every game close. They almost beat Minnesota, who's playing for legitimately the 1 seed right now. Like, they're playing solid basketball, and Jordan Poole is likely to register 36 minutes around that mark once again. So even though Washington's not playing for much, you're auditioning for your role on this team next year, right? I mean, the pick could have been Dillingham, right? It could have been one of these guys that's a twitchy guard, just like Jordan Poole, but it's looking like it's not going to be anymore. It's looking like they're going to go center, and Poole's going to be possibly the starting point guard. You got to keep not stat padding. You got to keep proving what you can do so that there's no doubt there. And I think this makes it actually a very solid long shot. So I was in between Poole and Klay Thompson, two guys I never bet on, funnily enough, but I think they're both in good spots today.
Okay. Well, you went a little higher than my original, so now I have to, play around and make it a little higher here. I'm going to go to a plus 2,200 parlay. Right
oh, okay.
Plus 2,200. I'm going to go my boy, Jordan, and we're going to fade Dayton Dunning in this spot, and I'm going to go plus 2,200 for 2 RBI parlay between Marcelo Ozuna and Yordan Alvarez today. Both of them are plus 400. I believe Jordan's plus 350 on FanDuel, which is where I'm playing it to get the best price on Ozuna with that higher price. Fading Dayton Dunning away from home, do it all the time. Love to do it. This is a tough spot for him. Also, talk about a team who got spanked. Talk about those Astros, bro. They got spanked. They were down 9-0 in the first, bro. They didn't even get a chance. And now we're going to get a chance to face Dane Dunning, not missing bats at home. Man, I'm ready for that. But we look at Marcell Ozuna. Obviously, he was a Miami Marlin for a long time, going back home, going back over there, getting a chance to go against his old team. I know he's only 2 for 13 in his career against Trevor Rogers. One of those was a bomb, though. You go over to Jordan, you want to look at batter versus pitcher. He's 4 for 12, 2 bombs in his 4 hits, 4 RBIs. On the season, Jordan already has 12 ribbies. He's got, I believe he already has 3 multi-RBI games, or 4, my bad, 4 already. Wow, okay. Marcell is right up there, man. I think he was tied for the league lead in home runs with 5 already, multi-RBI games. He's already got 4 as well. I think this is a fair price for a 22-1. Obviously, not something we're expecting to hit, but middle of the lineup guys. Jordan, I think, is going to probably be batting 2. But again, if you look at his home run prop, it shouldn't be like this, right? Jordan is 280 to hit a bomb.
Yep.
He's 370 to record 2 ribbies, bro. And with Jose Altuve and how well he's been playing at the top of this lineup, I would rather have that plus 375 ticket than the 285 ticket. So I think this is a very fair price for the spots. Obviously, the team total's feeling pretty good, and really liking to roll with these guys.
100%. I mean, I'm actually pretty surprised, honestly, that this is 22-1. I mean, I played a 2 RBI thing the other day that was like 12-1 with 2 equivalent players, So I'm actually really liking the price. What better team would you want to bet on for guys to get RBIs than the Braves and the Astros, right? Like, if Ozuna goes yard and it's a solo home run, I'll be shocked, right? But there's so many different ways, like you said, that you can get this, obviously, in just, doubles, singles, sac fly, whatever. So, wow, actually, I think this is actually a very nice price, to be completely honest, right here. I'm a big fan of this play, especially you can't go wrong with Jordan, right? He's just one of those guys that he's so good that you're never going to feel too bad. But Ozuna, he can hit a bomb any at bat. You know what I mean? So I think this is a very nice price right here.
Yeah, we talk about his lefty splits, man. He's obviously very, very good against lefties on the year already. So I think he's got like a 529 slugging against lefties. And even if he is smoking the ball against righties so far to start this year too. So good looks. I definitely like the spot. Where are you getting the pool double-double? Can't find it on a book right now.
Caesar Sportsbook and DraftKings had it as well. I'm not sure. I just opened up my DraftKings app. Poole was the only player listed, right? He was the only player available, and now he's not available. So I don't know. This was legit like 20 minutes ago. Like I checked while we were doing the show, and that is when I got that number. So I don't know if there's been an announcement or if FanDuel might have it right now, but they did take Poole off of the board on DraftKings, and it looks like Caesars. Let's see. Oh, no, you should be good. Yeah, okay. You're still good to go on FanDuel. Perfect. Plus 470 on FanDuel. Yep. So I don't know why DraftKings took it down in the last 20 minutes, but still there on FanDuel.
Awesome. Make sure you guys are grabbing that on FanDuel Sportsbook right now. Stu, liking our spots today. We got good long shots. I think these are good spots, good looks. What do you got for the people here before we head out today?
Yeah, I just checked. It says 440 for double-double, but 470 for 10 assists. So just it's the same bet pretty much. Technically,
you want me to just put 10 assists then?
No. Well, I still think the bet for me was Caesar, so it's double-double. But
okay.
But yeah. But still, I'm just saying I would take that 10 with the 20 over the other one on FanDuel just while I was looking at it. Wanted to make sure.
Darren's always doing the people's work here. 15 points, 10 assists to go along with that is 116-1. Man,
it's pretty crazy.
That ain't bad looks. That ain't bad looks, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that right here. Hey, with the momentum we've had so far, I want to keep that going. It's been great for the long shots recently, and it's not straights pay the bills, but it sure does feel very nice when you can get those long shots as well.
Yes, sir. And I talked about this Fire Sports. The interesting part is you have two dudes who miss so many bats. That's what you have to do in a game like that. That's why it's like I said, there could be 20 runs, there could be 3 runs, right? And those are the fun games to bet on, and those are the fun games to watch because there's really not much, there's not much you can take from the win like that when you have, Reed Detmers with the amount of swing and miss that he has. When you have Tanner Houck, who's already had I think 7 strikeout game already. So it's gonna be a fun game, and that's why I picked that one as the most interesting of the game.
Yeah, 100%. I'll have to pop that one on as well tonight. I like a little madness every once in a while.
Yes, sir. Stu, what do you got for the people before we head out today?
Yeah, make sure you're following over on Twitter at Monotone Football. This has been a crazy busy point in my life right now. So a lot of stuff is coming out like later, closer to game time. It obviously doesn't help that all these lines are posted very close to game time as well. So hopefully higher volume next week in the MLB. I'm doing some good stuff behind the scenes. 3-1 publicly, which is very good. Don't want to say anything about that, but I'm just super excited to ramp up. Just wanted to say, I feel like, there's more. It's good. Oh, I see Kevin as well. Gigi Jackson -130. Yes, I would play it at -130. Full confidence as well right there. But yeah, I was just saying it's been a good week so far. I'm a little crazy. I'm a little busy, but I'm ready for next week. I'm super excited. I already have a guest lined up for next Friday, which should be very fun. A great, commentator, stuff like that. So I'm super pumped, ready to keep it going. And hey, hopefully we end the week strong today on Friday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Should be fun. Stu, as always, let's cash some tickets here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Huge weekend ahead. We got UFC 300 this weekend. That's going to be awesome. I'm pumped for that. So I'm gonna be ready for that one. I already got it bought. We're ready to go. So I'm gonna be locking in all those today. So it's gonna be fun and getting after it. So thank you guys for tuning in. Best of luck tonight. Hopefully we can cash some tickets with you today. Got a couple good long shots here and feeling pretty good about our spots. So hit that like button on your way out, guys, and we'll see you on Monday.